24th of January. It's the sun setting, coming to the end of day 9 of the second leg of our journey across Arabia. More onward progress. Sadly, poor Reem today has gone down with the dreaded chest and cough lurgy that has been afflicting Anna and I. Anna and I are on the mend now. It seems to be Reem's turn to suffer. Anyway, she's plodded on today, and as we both have, we left campsite at about 8 this morning, 8:15. Lovely calm night, overlooking this beautiful valley. Walking initially towards this enormous granite mountain, Jebel Tan. A couple of eagles soaring above it, and lovely progress across plain when Alan and Anna were able to catch us up with the vehicles. And really the aim of today has been to progress away from Uruq Sabai, the line of dunes, across the plains towards a really important, very small but very important settlement called Khurma. And Khurma has a significance way beyond its size. It's a very remote community, predominantly Bedouin community, but historically of great significance. And there was once a time when it was discussed in the halls of Whitehall, because the significance of what unfolded at Khurma may have had an influence on the politics of the region, because this was very much the frontier between Ibn Saud's sphere of influence from Riyadh and Sharif Hussein of Mecca, who was based in Mecca and Jeddah. And there were several battles fought at Khurma. Khurma was very important in the history of Saudi Arabia, and it was really the fact that those battles worked out the way that they did really did give Ibn Saud the confidence to unite the tribes and to create the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But so fierce was the fighting. We're still a couple of 100 kilometres from Taif, that the residents of Taif reputedly fled the town for fear of getting caught up in the bloody fighting. So we're plodding on. It's temperatures are rising, same altitude, about 3,500 feet, but definitely getting a wee bit hotter every day. We're all getting a bit more tired, and it was really, this was a period when Philby particularly wrote about the fact that he too was also feeling pretty tired. And he wrote in his book, "The next day was one of strenuous exertion. For 6 days we had fared on nothing but rice and dates, varied by a hare on only 2 occasions, and all were agreed that we must make Khurma before nightfall. To make matters worse, my camel had picked up a flint the previous afternoon and had gone badly lame, with the result that the awkward gait, coupled with a series of long fatiguing days, made me ache all over. In this condition I mounted a camel which I discarded for its rough paces in the early stages of the journey, but was faced with a march of 11.5 hours, broken only by a single halt of less than an hour, my discomfort and agony increasing with every step, until by the time we arrived at our destination I was in the last stages of exhaustion." So we're not quite at that stage, I have to say, but there's no doubt about it. Being in the heat day after day after day, walking under the direct sun, it really does take its toll. So everyone's doing really well. We're plodding on. We reached Khurma ourselves today. It's a much bigger community than when Philby arrived in 1917. Then he mentioned that it was a home to several thousand people, and I would say today it's significantly bigger. It occupies the bottom of a riverbed, really, but on a raised gravel plain in the middle of a wide wadi bed. But arrive they did, and Philby was in for a treat, as we are in for a treat this evening. Tonight we have camel meat, and it's the first time that we have tasted camel meat on our journey, and it was the first time for Philby also. And he wrote in his book, "Our long penance of low diet was interrupted that evening by a sumptuous feast comprising a large haunch of camel beef with rice and vegetables from the gardens of the oasis. We were fortunate in arriving on a day when butcher's meat was available, for with the Bedouin being away, sheep or goats were unobtainable, and the people left behind in the village contented themselves with the occasional slaughter of a camel. The meat, which I now tasted for the first time, was coarse and very tough, but satisfying and not unlike inferior beef." So we got a bit of camel meat. We found a camel cafe in Khurma today. We went in to fill our jerry cans with wash water from the local mosque. We filled up with fuel. It was quite exciting coming into civilization after 5 or 6 days of going across country and barely seeing any blacktop. But today was a small step back into civilization. We then drove out of Khurma and we're camped in some really different country now, and we're on the edge of. So I'm sitting behind a small acacia bush, as always, killing the wind, but around me is black nodules of lava, and we're on the edge of big lava fields called harrat in Arabic, and it's a sea of black, as I can see, with lots of acacia trees dotted around. And the Red Sea is just an extension of the Great Rift Valley of East Africa. The volcanoes of Kilimanjaro, of Mount Kenya, of Oldonyo Lengai, the Great Rift Valley of Kenya. It extends, the Red Sea is an extension of that, and if you fly from Riyadh to Jeddah and you look out of the window, you will see, looking down at this stage of your journey, you're 2/3 of the way through your flight from Riyadh to Jeddah. If you look down, you will see several round craters, which are the craters of the old volcanoes. They're dormant. So they may erupt. I don't think there's been an eruption for quite a long time. But the lava, because the ground is so flat here, the lava spreads out in all directions. It solidifies into these great fields of harrat, and that's what we're sitting on the edge of now. It's tortuous driving through them. It's puncture country. You can't drive in a straight line. So the going is very, very tough. It's great for animals like the gazelle and the wolves, because it's very difficult to be hunted in this stuff. So reputedly, according to the ecologists, the numbers of wild mammals in the harrat are larger than the areas outside, simply because people can't get in there and chase them and hunt them down. So tomorrow, Reem and I will walk away from Khurma. We'll walk a little bit through this harrat, these lava fields, making progress towards Taif, the hill station, the hill community of Taif. Tomorrow, I think, will be Wednesday, and we hope to reach Taif on Thursday, which will be quite exciting because there's quite a large community. Philby spent a couple of days there, was amazed by the architecture, the beautiful Ottoman architecture that he saw in Taif. So we're looking forward to that. Someone from the Heritage Commission, our friends at the Heritage Commission in Riyadh, one of their staff will be meeting us at Taif to give us a guided tour and tell us about the history. So we'll try and capture that on some of the podcasts so that we can share that with you. So that's it. End of day 9. The days are ticking away and the sun is going down. So I'm going to walk back to the camp and join the others and have a cup of tea.